Does one ever get prepared to have kids? Or is something you just have to do?
No.
Learn as you're going?
I think you have to be prepared.
Right.
You have to be prepared emotionally, psychologically, financially,
Right.
you know, because kids would change your life. I can't speak from a woman's point of view because I'm a man, but I see the effect that raising kids, you know, has on my wife. Wow, you know, you're such a strong woman. And for me as well, it can be challenging. I'm in the bottom of the food chain right now, you know, so it's the kids, my wife, and then me. And the trick is to also increase your capacity so that you can afford to take care of them.
Were you a womanizer before you got married?
That's a good question. Was I a womanizer? It depends on what's your definition of womanizer.
A man who dates multiple women at the same time. Yes.
Maybe there was a time in my life I was.
Maybe you have forgotten.
Well, our definitions would differ, but in that definition, maybe there was a period in my life that I was. I wouldn't say for long periods of my life, maybe for certain periods that I explored, you know, so perhaps.
Were they good periods?
Yes. There were periods of learning for me. So if I learned, then yes, there were good periods.
What did you learn? You teed up that question for me. You teed it up.
I learned that certain things don't necessarily bring you the fulfillment that you think they would on paper. It feels like, you know, that's the life, but experientially, maybe not. I tell young people a lot that, you know, it's cool to be a player and it's cool to, you know, but if you develop that habit or lifestyle, it won't automatically change overnight. So don't develop something you don't want to continue for the rest of your life.
What kind of habits? You mean like commitment, discipline?
Yes. If you're not able to commit to one person, if you jump from one relationship to another, that won't automatically change when you marry. When you marry, that muscle hasn't been developed. So you encounter one challenge and you want to immediately jump, or you just be like, man, I'm talking to you, you're not listening to me, I beg, let me find someone that will listen to me or something, you know. So if you're the kind of person that before you got married, it was easy for you to just walk away or to just keep different relationships, keep ladies on the string, that won't change overnight.
Along with Tyler Perry, I'm going to ask, why did you get married?
Why did I get married? Yeah. I was tired of being in different relationships, I guess. Right. I was tired of maybe womanizing at the time, maybe. I was craving something deeper. I was craving connection with someone that I could build with and develop something important with. So I think I was just ready.
Right. Why did you marry your wife?
So,
what was the reason that made you say, this is the woman I was settling down with?
So I think two things came together to prepare me. At that time in my life, I was tired of dealing with several relationships. But I had a girlfriend at the time, and I told the girl that I think I'm ready to get married. Let's think about getting married. But she wasn't ready. And she was like, we were in South Africa at the time, and she was
like... A South African woman?
Not a Nigerian woman.
Okay.
Yes.
Because, I'm sorry, Nigerian, I'm sorry, but...
She was not a Nigerian woman. Let me leave it there. She was not a Nigerian.
Right.
Yes, so I told her that I wanted to settle down, but she wasn't ready. And she said, she had plans to go for graduate school in the States and all of that. And she didn't want to get, for lack of a better word, tied at the time. And I was disappointed. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, we could do so many things together, but, you know. So at that time, I was ready. Anyone who was with me at that time, I'd ask the question, do you want to get married? Like I did ask my girlfriend at the time, and she declined. So, well, not pop the question, but just, you know, explore. Exactly. And then it coincided with coming back to Nigeria to be on a project that my wife was, at the time, production manager on. That's Giddy Up Season 2. So we met, we had been talking before that time, so we met when I came to Nigeria. She came to Nigeria at that time too. It was her first job in Nigeria when she came back from New York. And then we met, and then we started to talk, and then I had this long conversation with her and told her that, look, babe, I really want to get married. Like the same conversation that I had, you know, that I was, and she said, oh yeah, let's do it. You know, I'm like, wait, before you think that I have like a truckload of money somewhere waiting, or I haven't figured this thing out. Like this is who I am. This is just gave her the lowdown. But I said that everything up until this point, I had lived my life And to be honest, that's what I said. I said I had lived my life by faith, not necessarily by seeing things before I do them, but by doing things and then realizing that there's provision. Provision is made available for it.
And she was ready to go.
Yes, and that was what, together with me being ready, that was what just did it for me, and it just clicked, and I was like, you're the person. Like, if that didn't scare you away, like, first of all, two things. If I tell a random person I want to get married, person be like, please, who are you? Yeah.
About to die.
Exactly, that's one. Two, that didn't scare you away. Second thing that didn't scare you away was the fact that I said, I don't have anything. Like, it's not like I have great things. All I have are dreams and the power of faith, believing that if I knock on any door hard enough, the door will open.
Right.
And she bought it. So I think what marriage has done to me is to kind of create stability for me and repaired my priorities. There's only so much I can give because I have a family. There's only so much I can give of myself because I have people that need me, that I'm responsible to first. Before I got married, my biggest fear was, how would I take care of my family? People have this idea of struggling artists, and they feel that artists can't take care of themselves.
Yeah.
So for me, I came into the arts with that fear.
Should I get married or not?
I should definitely get married. I know what they tell you. They say, you people did not tell us. It was
Yes.
So,
let's move on from that. There's something you mentioned. You mentioned that you've gone through a lot in your life. And honestly, I've known you for a long time.
Yes.
And two things I didn't know.
Yes.
One, that you were expelled from the university for cultism. What is that?
I know.
Please, what happened?
Listen, it was, it was shocking to me and to everyone that I know. At the time in school, I was a goody two-shoes. I was a church boy. I was a bookworm. That was all I did, church and school. And so when I heard about the renunciation ceremony and all of that, I was like, wow, great, but it doesn't concern me. After the renunciation ceremony and the time of grace, the school now said, these are the names of 150 cult members who refused to renounce cultism and published 150 names. And lo and behold, my name was on that list from out of nowhere. I don't know how it happened. I can't figure out how my name got on that list, but my name was on the list, and everything we tried didn't work. It was a miscarriage of justice because there was no proof. There was absolutely nothing that proved that I was a cult member. When we went for the disciplinary hearings, we had several of those. It was always, prove to us that you're not a cult member. I'm like, how am I proving to you? Prove to you? You called me a cult member. Prove to me that I'm a cultist, like I'm a member of a secret cult. What's the proof? Yeah. There's none whatsoever, none presented. And first of all, it was suspension, indefinite suspension, and then it became expulsion after the disciplinary hearings. And yeah, it was a very dark period in my life. Then Footmina called me back, and they were like, oh, I've been forgiven of my...
God punish them. Not Footmina.
Dude, like, I want to say that. I want to say that so bad, They're like, oh, come back and finish your course because you've been forgiven. And obviously my parents were like, that's it. Drop this thing you're doing and go back to engineering and finish your engineering course, which I did. Went back, finished my engineering course, came back, worked as an engineer for a bit. Then I was like, you know what, I'm done. I've tasted the promised land and I can't go back. I wanted to be an actor and a storyteller. Right. And so I quit.
Like nothing would have taken you back to that school. That's the end.
Really? Not just even bragging rights. Like
nothing.
One thing I wanted.
It's easy to say that
exactly
now.
because I just wanted to know that I
finished this.
Yes, and I finished it.
Probably would have.
I just wanted to know because my mates had graduated 2 years after that. I was 2 years behind and I had to go back into class with my juniors, had to finish all of that, and then I was like, you know what, I'm done.
What is the experience like shooting men's club?
Everyone thought I was into older women.
Yes.
For some reason.
Sure
I'm like, you guys realize that this is acting. Like, there's a difference. No. I'd get people in my DM saying, like, how far are you like this in real life? And I'm like, chill now. Surely you can tell the difference.
Is it a real thing that when love interest, lover boy, dangerous man, Yoruba demon, you've done it all. Is it a real thing that when you play such a role, then life now imitates art? People now, not from your end, but people are now asking you out, your matter, You know, is that a real thing?
Yes, the viewers don't know how to differentiate, you know, real from false, or, you know, what's real and what's not. But you also, as the actor, first of all, acting is very powerful. And that's what many people don't understand. That when you open your mind up, and I mean when you really act, when you do the work, you open your subconscious to certain energies. Right? And when you open your subconscious as an actor, things will enter. That even when you're done acting and you're done with the role, because you've opened yourself up and certain ideas or certain energies have come into your aura or your space, you'd experience it in real life.
There been a moment when that led you to dangerous places?
I've got hit on by older people.
Rich older people?
Yeah.
I love it.
Of course.
Is that not the Nigerian dream?
Is it? Is it the Nigerian dream?
I don't know. Yes, I just want to take care of you.
I believe in hard work and I believe in process. Right. But it's also nice when you get people who find you attractive and who are willing to take care of you. Yes.
Collision Course.
Right.
You know, that's the one that you got the Globe Awards.
Well, no, it wasn't for... It was nominated for, yeah.
Yeah, but you won for Georgia.
No, I won. The Globe Awards was for Kofa.
But everybody was expecting you to win for Collision Course.
Exactly, and I didn't win for that one.
But were you not expecting to win in this one as well? Like, oh,
yeah, like I said it before that, you know, like for the longest time, I wasn't getting award nods. Like I'd get nominated, but I wasn't really winning. I think I just moved on from it because, like I said, I believe in process. I believe in the work. So I just focused and said to myself, you know what? It's fine, you know, like there are people doing amazing work out there. Just add your own amazing work to it. You'll be all right.
Do you like Nigeria?
Sure. To be honest, Nigeria isn't one of my favorite places, one of my most favorite places in the world, but I am proud of where we are as a nation.
Somebody says that there was one of the people who was in the military accused as being part of the Vatsa coup.
Yes. So my dad was going to be killed along with General Mamman Vasa.
The popular Vatsa coup.
Yes. And his story is not my story, but I like to tell his story because he wrote a book about it. So his story is he had this really close friend. The really close friend, like they were neighbors, they used to eat in each other's houses, kids used to play in each other's houses in NDA, in Commander Staff College, Jajim, where they worked in Kaduna. And this really close friend of his was one of the key plotters in the Vatsa coup, one of the key plotters. He was a top officer, you know, great at his job, really intelligent, and was key to the plot. And when they got arrested, the question now came to him, who did you tell about the coup? And he claims that he told my father. My father was like, he didn't tell me anything. He told me something totally different, blah, 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 blah. But my father got arrested and roped in with the rest of them, and he was going to be killed. And by the hand of God, some miracle, the moment they were going to be taken out to be shot, an officer comes in with a note and calls out 3 officers away and says, these 3 officers, including my father, were staying here. The remaining officers were going on transfer. So these 3 officers, including my father, was like, we want to go on transfer too. Why are you keeping us here? Like, they were in Kiri at the time. Like, why are you keeping us in Kiri? Shouldn't be here. They were like, they took these remaining officers, including General Mamman Vasa, including the guy, my father's very close friend, who was among the key coup plotters, took them. And the next thing these 3 people heard, gunshots. Pa, 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 pa. They were executed behind in the yard. And then my father's death sentence was commuted to life. Just before the IBB government left, IBB released him from prison in 1993. But he was released from prison, but he wasn't pardoned.
Yeah,
it was still exactly. So he was released from prison, and then it was Buhari's government who in 2020 now granted him officially a prencial pardon, and his rank and entitlements were restored to him.
The friend that said this whole thing, are they still close? Do they talk?
If you'd be talking to a dead person, maybe, but
the person has
with all due respect, yes, he was shot with Mamman Vasa. And it's also said that as they were taking them and they were tying them at the stakes, he was like, where is Colonel Effiong? I don't see Colonel. Why isn't Colonel Effiong here? Why isn't he here? I'm telling you, before he was shot, that was what he was shouting out.
Wow.
You know, it's all in my father's book, and it will be in the film.
You were obviously born when all this was going on.
I was one at
You
the
were
time,
one,
so I didn't grow up with my father.
awareness.
No, I didn't grow up with a father figure. I grew up with my mom. Fun fact as well: 4 years later, my mom was going to visit my dad in prison, because at that time they had transferred my dad to Kanu Central Prison. You know, they took the Southerners to the north and they took the Northerners to the south. Right, the people who they incarcerated for life. My mom was traveling to go visit my father in Kanu Central Prison, where she had an accident and she died.
Oh my God.
Yes. So I was 4 when my mom died. I was 1 when my dad went away.
Wow.
So yes. And of course that broke him. That totally shattered my father. He had to deal with all of that in prison. He couldn't even attend his own wife's funeral, you know, all of that. And then we had to be taken to live with our grandparents. I was raised by my grandparents, you know, and then later by my uncle and auntie. Yeah.